Welcome to Forever, man. Let's go. Come on. This forever. No surrender. Yeah. You know that this right here forever. Go. And there will be no surrender. Now allow me to reintroduce myself.
You're now tuned in to the Dads Who Live podcast. I'm Joel Staley with my co-host Tyler Gaeta.
On this episode of the Dads Who Live podcast, Joel and I talk about things that you can do to keep yourself sane and self-improve while we are all locked down going through this coronavirus. You are now tuned in to the Dads Who Live podcast. Your host, Tyler Gaeta.
And as always, I'm Joel Staley.
Hey, so this podcast, we want to talk about, most of the podcasts have touched on coronavirus, but with this one, we want to talk about what you can do to become your best self and really just stay fucking sane while you're going through this coronavirus pandemic and we're in a lockdown. Most people are locked down in their houses. A lot of people have lost their jobs. If they haven't lost their jobs, a lot of people are working from home. So what do we do? I kind of wanted to just run through what we're doing because I like to think that I'm staying pretty successful through all this, and I like to think that you are as well.
Well, actually, so this is why I thought it'd be a good topic because we have a couple different ways of looking at it. I know that you're like, this is your element. It always is. You're finding ways to, self-improve. You're reading books. You got the home gym. You're working out. I've always been more of the type, like, my brain's telling me to do this stuff, but I'll be hanging out with my wife and daughter, watching Netflix, and my brain's just like, dude, you got to send those DMs. You got to reply to those emails, read a book, go work out, something. And it's hard for me to get the momentum going once the structure I'm used to has basically imploded. So I think it'll be nice to get a couple different point of views from people who are more like you, who can just get after it without much prodding, and people like me too that are like, I know I got to do something, but I'm just having a tough time.
Yeah, it's crazy because for me, someone that's always been go my entire life, this is actually like a nice fucking change of pace. Like I've said it in previous podcasts, but I love how and I've grown to see more of what's important in my life, and not only grown to see what's more important in my life, but I've grown to see what's important to me, like to actually be able to see within myself and see what I need. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to lie, man. Like my office is in my house. My guys are still working. We're still moving, thank God. But there's been days where I've rolled up, at 3:30 and been like, man, I'm fucking tired. I woke up early this morning and I'll take like a 15-minute power nap. And that has never happened. Like I don't ever do that. But it's so nice just to be able to check in with yourself and be like, you know what, I'm fucking tired. Like, and the funny, I understand I could never do that before. And the way that society was pre-coronavirus, I don't think there's not many people that could do that. I mean, things were just so fucking go. So move. So, get so much done. And now I think just with things slowing, but the way that I see it is like, all right, I can struggle. So it's 3:30, right? I've been working all day. I woke up at 5:30, which I've been trying to wake up at 5:30, but really it's been 7 all week.
I'm in the same boat.
But I'm trying to get back to 5:30. So say I woke up at 5:30, it's 3:30. I'd already hit my workout. I've already hit my yoga. I've manifested. I've been working all day. It's been a productive day, right? And I'm to this point to where I hit a wall, right? I'm tired as fuck. Am I more productive if I take a 15-minute nap and then get back to work till 5? At 3:30, or am I more productive if I just sit at my computer for another hour and like try to get shit done when my fucking mind is, my eyes are shutting and my mind's all over the place?
Probably the former, I would think.
Fucking nap, dude. Yeah. Like I feel so much better. And then not only that, then I have so much more energy. It's crazy how much a 15-30 minute power nap can do. Then I have so much more energy to get through the rest of my day. So this isn't really about a nap. I mean, this podcast isn't about a nap, but it's just crazy to me. Things became super fast paced with the internet, right? pre-email, social media. You're talking dial-up phones back in the day. Like I remember, this is going to date me, but I remember when I was a kid and my dad had the first like cell phone that came out, and it was a fucking brick, big ass brick cell phones. Even back into the pager days, less was expected of people in a daily basis and business and everything. Things took longer, pre-email, you had to send things by mail. So it was expected that it was going to take multiple days to get things done. As we evolved, we got more into this fast paced of like, oh, now we can email and I'm going to send an email off and I want a response back that day. And our workloads doubled, quadrupled, or tripled, maybe even quadrupled, And so this coronavirus is a shitty thing. It's not a good thing. People are dying. I'm not saying it's a good thing. But if we can take good from it and kind of reconstruct our society and the way that we live life to go back to kind of a little bit more of the roots of people actually taking care of people, taking care of themselves, opposed to just trying to, live for everybody else, I think we're going to be a lot better place after this once we get through it.
100%. So I train people with diet and workout routines and accountability, all that stuff. You know what I do. So when something like this happens, it's very easy for anybody to be like, well, I was going to get in the best shape of my life, but now the gyms are closed and, I'm stressed about my job and all this stuff. The way I look at it is I always go back to Marky Mark. Mark Wahlberg when he went to jail and he's
Mark and the Funky Bunch.
I got nothing better to do but just get jacked AF. Well, I got all this free time. Comes out, gets his Calvin Klein deal, gets a contract to start being in like movies and stuff. So
that's what I'm saying, dude. Like to people that say that they want, I've always wanted to get in physical shape or I want a six pack and they're like, oh, well, fuck, now I can't do it. I can't even go to the gym. Motherfucker. You have no restaurants, you have no movies, you have no bars.
Nothing but time.
You can't fucking travel. Like that was always my excuse. Like, well, my lifestyle, I travel too much. I like to drink. I like to have fun. I might be good for 2 weeks, but then I'll go to Mexico and fuck off for a week.
The lack of time is everyone's excuse.
Yeah.
So now you got nothing but, and you're still, it's like, well, now I can't.
If now is not the time, there's never going to be a fucking time.
Right. Because you got to think about it. Do you want to step away from society for 3 to 6 months or longer, whatever it ends up being, and come back 20 pounds heavier and be like, yeah, Corona got me? Or do you want to take this time away, focus on yourself, come back a better version of yourself now that you have time to actually, do these things and, not only impress other people, but show yourself that you can finally do this when all your excuses are finally out of the window?
To me, it's not even about coming back to society when society comes back and giving a fuck what anybody else thinks. To me, it's about like, I'm going to use this time. I've already have. And maybe it's like, maybe I'm just loving it now because we're only a few weeks in. Talk to me if this continues on, maybe in a month from now or 2 months from now, we're both going, fuck, this sucks, And again, I want to preface and say that I'm not pro coronavirus.
Your glass half full, dude.
Yeah, but I'm going to take this opportunity and I'm going to become best friends with me more so than I even was before. I'm going to be, I'm going to know myself. I'm going to become the best person that I can be. I'm going to know what I stand for. I haven't been listening to a shitload of audiobooks. I do need to get back into my reading. I started a new health program, so I'm eating so much fucking food that like I'm kind of just constantly eating all day long. When I'm not working or with my kid, I'm fucking eating. But yeah, dude, use this time to be the best version of yourself. So what are you doing? How are you using this time to be the best version of yourself? Or what are you going to do to combat that? I just want to sit on the couch with the family, or I'm stuck into sitting on the couch with the family and I've got 10 things in my mind I know I need to get done.
Yeah. So we talk about momentum all the time. And so that's kind of what it was. I had a routine. I was waking up at the same time, going to the gym, doing stuff with my business, taking my daughter to daycare. So once you get that momentum going on that structure, it's really easy. Once, my wife is working from home and my daughter doesn't have daycare anymore, she's been waking up at all weird times of the night and everything's just different. Amy kicked me out of my office. So it was very easy for those first 5 or 6 days of the quarantine. We're not on lockdown officially yet, but we're supposed to be. To just get stuck on the couch. You're watching Disney Plus with the daughter. Your gym's closed when you love to take your pre-workout, go throw some weights around. Now you're stuck to doing like pull-ups on the door frame and push-ups and sit-ups. So it's tough to get that momentum back. And there was like a good 4 or 5 days where, you know, I'm drinking at night, just like vacation mode. And finally, and every time I do this, it's like I said earlier in the podcast, there's a little voice in my head that's like, dude, get the fuck up and go do something. You're squandering right now. This is an opportunity and you're just wasting it. So finally on Monday, which was 2 days ago, I just forced myself. I wrote down a home workout. I said, no matter what, no matter how bad this sucks, I'm going to do it. Because a lot of times with yoga or home workouts, I'll start doing it for 2 minutes and I'm like, yeah, just not feeling it. So I wrote it down. I committed 100% to doing it. And I'm not going to lie to you. If you don't feel like going to the gym, typically you can go do a couple sets and you're like, all right, I'm in the zone. The home workouts for me, that never comes. I was forcing myself the whole time. But what did happen was after I did force myself to do it, I got that little sense of accomplishment. It translated to my diet. It translated to, okay, instead of sitting on the couch and pouring a drink and watching TV with the girls, I'm going to check in with clients, blast some emails, send some cold DMs, grow the business. And just forcing myself to do that first little bit made everything else so much easier to fall in line afterwards.
I think one of the biggest things, and like what I'm hearing here from you is, and it makes total sense to me, is you got to revamp your schedule, man. You got to get that momentum going again, right? So this is adapt and overcome, adapt and conquer.
Exactly.
This is a completely different situation that we're all in than we've ever been in, and so when you have a schedule, it is easy to get set in your schedule. But you have to make a new fucking schedule, right? So it's funny because, we were talking right before this podcast started and we're talking about, Joel slept in this morning till 8. And I was like, yeah, fuck, I slept in till 7 and I was supposed to wake up at 5:30. And I was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing because all last week I tried to get up at 5:30 and all this week I've been trying to get up at 5:30 and I just can't seem to do it. And that's what it is creating a new schedule. Like if I would have just got my ass up at 5:30 this morning and then I start creating that momentum of I'm getting up at 5:30 every day, then it's going to mold into my new schedule with this quarantine. And I'm not saying you have to wake up at 5:30. Like another thing I've realized too is when things change, if you don't hit everything or things don't work out how you plan in your head, like don't beat yourself up. Because for me, there'll be days like me not waking up at that 5:30 will ruin my whole fucking day because I wake up, it's 7:00 and I'm sitting there going, man, you're a fucking loser. Why the fuck didn't you get up? You had shit to do. You had this planned out, like you failed. And that'll carry on through that whole day. And the whole day I'm just trying to catch up and be like, man, I failed. And like, I guess what I'm saying is when things change, you have to adapt and conquer and be okay it is okay if you fuck up. Like this morning, I woke up at 7. I didn't wake up at 5:30. I tried to wake up at 5:30. Didn't do it. Woke up at 7, but I still woke up and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. This is going to be a good day. Like we're going to go shoot some podcasts. I'm going to turn this day into whatever the fuck I want it to be. And I'm not going to beat myself up for not meeting that goal.
So we talk again a lot about writing stuff down. And again, I wouldn't have done that workout. I probably would have done what I'd done before, cranked out a couple push-ups,
cock push-ups, and then just been like, not feeling it. We have a mindset coach in the Shed Fat Fast program that I run, and he's been like a game changer, not only for the clients, but for myself. And one thing he went over a couple weeks ago was time blocking. Blocking off time in your day down to every half hour. All right, even if it's free time. Okay, here's my free time. I can do stuff here if I want, but here's when I'm playing with the kids. Here's when I'm checking emails. Here's when I'm doing my social media. So time blocking's been a game changer for me because instead of waking up and just being reactive to whatever the day throws at me, I now have that structure that I need. And granted, of course, like
you're going to get a phone call from someone that just won't stop talking. It's going to get disrupted. But you can easily switch stuff around, and just having that structure is like, all right, I know exactly what's coming, so I can be prepared for it mentally and physically, as opposed to like, all right, I'm going to wake up whenever I feel like it. I'll get my workout and it's sometime. And whenever this works out, I'll call this guy. Having that structure, man, I feel like all the biggest leaders, like the Jocko Willinks, all of them, they talk about having that structure. And structure is freedom, I believe, is what Jocko says. It really is true, because if you don't have structure, you're just not going to do shit. Humans are just naturally lazy.
Right.
So I wanted to go over at least some practical steps. If you are in the same position that a lot of us find ourselves in when something like this happens, we have extra free time. The whole family's home. Of course, as a dad, there's that pressure to, like, you want to be working out, you want to be working on your business, you want to be doing whatever. But there's that pressure, like, to spend time with the family. And of course you should. But even when you're like away from it, you feel bad. So I wanted to at least go through some practical steps of how guys can utilize this time to really hone in on self-improvement, as opposed to just being lazy pieces of shit on the couch, drinking whiskey like I had been all last week.
So, yeah, no, that's great. And I think schedule. I've heard schedule. You need to make a new routine, which kind of falls into schedule. But I think blocking out your day is a great idea. Again, if you fall short in areas, don't beat yourself up and have it ruin your day. It's like the way I try to look at things now is like it's a template. So like it's a template to help guide me. But if it doesn't work out exactly how this template, says it's supposed to work out, that's okay too, And I also want to say that, like, take more family time. It's all right in this time where we have time to take a little bit more family time, like use this as an opportunity to slow down and take that family time. Now, I'm not saying sit on your ass all day long. You still need to be out there grinding. If you lost your job, I'd, be looking for a job and figuring out what you can do and things of that nature. But I'm just saying, see it for what it is,
Yeah. So definitely writing it down. One thing that the old Andy Frisella, kill every day or kill it, I can't remember.
Kill every damn day.
Yeah, whatever
Something
it
like
is.
that.
But what's really helped me, because the schedule can be overwhelming if something gets flipped around. You're like, all right, well, I was going to do that. Do I do this or this? If you want to dumb it down a little bit and make it even easier, write down 3 to 5 things.
Yeah.
Like, I like to do 3 things that are non-negotiable. I have to get these done no matter what. It's kind of like that eat the frog principle. Like, the big shit I don't want to do, I got to do first. And then like 2 or 3 other things that if I get these things done, I really win the day. I think that's what it is. But
yeah, win every damn day or something
just
like
like having that list to cross off as you go, and having your priorities set for the day. So even if you do get pulled in a bunch of different directions, at least all right, well, whatever the fuck happens, I got these 2 things I got to knock out no matter what. And for real extra credit, I can knock out the other 2 or 3 things too. So having like a list and writing it down.
See, and for me, I'm pretty structured. I'm pretty type A and structured as it is. So maybe I don't need as much like with the blocking and stuff, but I definitely love the list, man, because it keeps you on track. And it's like for me, if I set a goal, like I want to win, I always want to win. So then it's like, it gives me even more drive just to get that done, So yeah, write down 3 to 5 things that you have to get done every morning. Right when you wake up, write down 3 to 5 things you have to get done that day and make sure to get those done. And I've even heard guys that'll say like, writing down that list will give them ambition to get it done. And sometimes they get that list done by like noon and they just fuck off the rest of the day, but it's a power list. As long as you got that list done, like you're winning, you won that day. I'm not saying that you couldn't have been more productive, but at least you got those things done and you're moving forward on that day.
So what are some of the things that guys can put on this list if they're just like, all right, well, like you said, if they lost their job, that's one thing. But if they're just working from home, a lot of extra time, and they want to use this time to really craft and sculpt themselves, not only like physically but mentally, what are some things that guys can put on their list to do just that?
So for me, man, my list is going to have, I'm really trying to take this time to not only work on myself physically, but mentally. And I think that yoga, I'm not a flexible guy. I'm a bigger dude, and yoga is something that really helps me physically and mentally. So yoga is going to be on my list every single day. Yoga, the reason I want to wake up at 5:30 is so that I can do like a half-hour yoga every morning and manifest and then get my workout in before my day actually starts. So yoga tied in with manifesting would be one. I'll say, let's just say meditation. So yoga, meditation, and gym would be 3 things that are on my list every day. Now the other things are going to be work related. I mean, I guess there's things with my son too that I want to do, but those are just kind of like a given. I don't feel like I need to put them on a list. Like I'm going to do those no matter what. Spend time with my kid, and now I get the privilege of, with school shutting down, of being teacher as well. So not only am I a business owner and father, I'm also a teacher. So they started, which I'm cool with. Like the kids got to keep learning, but they sent home homework last Monday. So now every day I got to take like an hour out of my day and do reading and math and homework and stuff with him. So those are on my list, but they're not like, those are givens to me. So I'm not going to put it on my list like, hey, they're not optional. You know what I mean? And so for me, it'd be yoga, workout, meditation, and then at least 2 business things I need to get done, whether that be, hey, go through and reply to all your emails, make sure that like yesterday, my list was get all my landscape estimates out. Anything that's lingering around that I haven't done yet, get them out. So I got all those out yesterday. And I'll tell you guys, like, when you make a list, and your list could be different. Like your list could be like, if you've really been in a slump or you're not working right now or whatever
garage.
it is, get off your ass. Like go out and take a walk. That could be on your list. Like get outside, you know, like I know that we're doing quarantine and social distancing, but I still try to get outside every single day.
Man, we went on a walk yesterday. There were so many people out.
Yeah.
Even Amy's like, I've never seen this many people out walking. Everyone was out. It was crazy.
That's fucking awesome, man. And I don't know if there's areas where you can't even go outside right now. I don't think, unless you have the actual virus, I don't think they're quarantining, to your actual house. But either way, even if you can't go outside, like in public, you can still go out in your backyard, like get outside, get some fresh air, vitamin D. I've heard multiple people say that fresh air and vitamin D is a natural antibiotic. And I believe that shit. Like you have to have sunlight and fresh air to stay healthy, physically and mentally, so get outside, get moving, do something every day.
So what do you say to someone that hears you, but they're like me? They're like, all right, I know I got to do this, but you telling me to do it's just not going to be the thing that breaks the camel's back to get me off my ass. What one piece of advice can you say to possibly fire someone up?
Find your motivator, man. Like you got to do it for you, like I'm blessed with the way I was brought up to where I'm pretty fucking self-motivated. Like it almost works the opposite to me, to where I have to like force myself to take a break or like to take that nap or whatever when my body needs it. But you have to find your own drive. Like I can't tell you why you need to do something. You know what I mean? Like you need to feel like you need to do something. And what I was getting into, I think I got off on a tangent, but when you make these lists every day, and I got away from it, I'm going to be honest with you, I haven't been making a list. I think that's something I'm going to go back to. But when you make these lists every day and you get these things done, you feel accomplished, man. It feels fucking amazing. Like it's not just like, oh, I sat on my ass all day. And even if you sat on your ass for the majority of the day, I guarantee you, if you make this fucking list and you get those things done, you're still going to feel good about that day.
That's what I'd say too, is just make the list. Because once you cross one off, you're not going to cross one off and be like, all right, I'm done. It's something addicting about it.
Yep.
You're going to cross off the next thing and the next thing. So
another thing too is I think getting accountability buddy. And this is what Joel and I were talking about, because we're both struggling right now with kind of getting back on our schedule and waking up early. There was a time where you were waking up at like 4 a.m. every
I was
morning.
waking up at 3:10 last week I did it for 2 days and then I crapped out. Now I'm waking up at like 8.
See, and
So I
want to
do
make it. I
5:30.
want to make
think-
it sustainable. You
I
know
think
what I mean?
5:30 is a good.
I could wake up at 3 o'clock for a short period of time, but you're going to burn yourself out. You know, so I think 5:30s for me is a good sustainable time that I can actually wake up and still function throughout the day and still have time, you know, to spend with my kid and still be present. But if you have an accountability buddy or somebody that will hold you accountable to this shit, like touch base every morning at 5:30, like you up. You know, maybe my alarm went off and I already snoozed that motherfucker and I'm getting ready to go back to bed. But then Joel goes, "Hey, you up? I'm up."
Dude, we could even put $100 each in a pot.
Okay.
Like if you don't take a selfie of you like whatever you're doing at 5:35, making your coffee or getting your workout in, whatever it is, then like, all right, fucker, I got my $100 now.
That. Yeah,
I mean,
I'm down for that
because
for sure.
if it's at the added accountability buddy, it does add an extra layer, but it only takes like you disappointing that person one time and you're like, oh, I lived, like that wasn't
Yeah.
so bad.
Yeah.
So throwing in some money, having some skin in the game, which we talk about a lot, that could go a long way too. So that could be an option.
Yeah, but figure out really what it comes down to is like what makes you happy. You know what I mean? Like sitting on the couch all day long, gaining weight, being a fat fuck is not going to make anybody happy. It might be cool for like a day or two, but in the long term, so like what's your driving force? What makes you happy? What do you live for? Channel that to do whatever you need to do and every day to be successful and to be happy, whatever that means. Like your successful is going to look different than my successful. Your happy is going to look different than my happy. And there's not a right or wrong. All that anybody's trying to do here is to live a prosperous life, feel good, feel healthy, and be happy.
Yeah. And especially if you're a dad, which probably most of our listeners and viewers are, like you can't just say, all right, well, you know, my wife and kids are on the couch. Why can't I be? You're the leader of the family, the way I look at it.
Yep.
I mean, you can get your panties in a bunch if like you don't think that's right. But I feel like as the man of the house, and it always has been, you have a duty to lead by example, to be the change. You can't rely on your wife and your kids to set the momentum and to ride that wave. You have to create your own wave and get them involved with that.
And I think with this whole setting a new schedule thing, being quarantined to your house, I see it just at my own house going like 10, like all the way around. So like I've been more lax, which again, you know, use the opportunities that you have, spend more time with your kids. I get that. But structure is also good. And I'll tell you those days that I sleep in, and I don't get done as much as I want, I do not feel good about it those days, you know, and I don't know if I said it in this podcast or last podcast, like don't beat yourself up. Like it's okay if you fuck up. Basically that means like change your mentality, to say, you know what, it already happened. There's nothing I could do about it. I'm still going to crush this fucking day. But still, it feels better when you actually just have structure and get the shit done than when you don't. And I can see it go all the way around with like, you know, I've still been up by 7 every day, but I've been sleeping in later than I should. I've been letting my son sleep in later. Since I've been sleeping in later, I've been staying up later. I've been letting my son stay up later. Like yesterday, he comes out of his bedroom and he's all like, I didn't wake up till 10:39 today. And I was out on meetings. You know, I wasn't even there. My office manager was there, but I wasn't there. I was like, holy fuck, dude.
You're like, nice. You're going to bed at 6, so you wake up early tomorrow.
Wake up at 10:39. You know what I mean? Like that kid, he'll stay up till 3 in the morning with his friends. And I've never seen that kid sleep past 9 a.m., even on the weekends. So I think the structure needs to be set all the way through. And as men, we are leaders of the household and we need to set it. And I'm not saying tell you, give your wife a bedtime, you know, the wife can do what she wants. But if you have kids, we're a Dads Who Lift group. I am going to, from here on out, get my schedule in check to where I'm waking up at 5:30. I'm not saying my son has to wake up at 5:30. I'm not even saying he has to wake up at 7, but I'm going to set a time. Maybe it's 8. That seems like a pretty good time for a kid. And he's going to have a set time. He's going to wake up during the week, just like normal every morning. And he's going to have a set time that he gets ready for bed during the week, just like any normal fucking week. On the weekends, you know, everybody needs a little bit of break and release, you know, do what you need to do. But keep that schedule going throughout the week, throughout a work week, I think is part of keeping part of our sanity, you know, and it's going to make it feel like you're kind of more back to your normalcy, I guess.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it's never been easier to have a case of the fuckets than right now. If you lost your job, you're like, fuck it, I can't get a new job. Woe is me. This coronavirus is like gonna end my life. If you're working from home, you can get away with doing a lot less work, and you're not putting on clothes. You're in your pajamas. You're on the couch instead of an office with people. So it's easier to have that. Fuck it. You know, I'll check the emails here in a bit. I'm gonna watch whatever, my soap operas or whatever's on Netflix. I don't even know if anyone watches soap operas anymore, but you really have to just get the momentum going. And at the end of the day, just realize that little voice in your head, it's always short-term gratification versus long-term happiness. And if you give into one, you're not going to get the other.
Well said.
Thanks.
Well said. I think we need to, you have to have something that you're accomplishing to feel good about any day. So I'm sitting here thinking about people that have lost their jobs, and I know that it's not like you just would normally lose your job and you go pick a job up right away, because there's a reason people are losing jobs, because people probably aren't hiring as well, you know. So you may not be able to find a job if you lost your job. Now, I'm not, Chad, you know a lot more about this than I do, but they're going to be, they just passed a stimulus last night. The government did, to where you were saying that basically people that are on salary, if they apply for this unemployment, will basically be able to make their full salary, even though they're unemployed.
Yeah.
If they were laid off because of the coronavirus.
Correct. Yeah. So when you apply in this new stimulus package, the deal includes not just the first time check. So everybody's going to get a check for like $1,200 unless you make a certain amount of money. Then you're only going to get like $750. But most people are going to get $1,200, and that's just for being American. Okay, that's a citizen thing.
Each adult,
and then if you have children, each child is going to get $500.
Okay,
no matter how much you make. So no matter what that kid, for that month. Now.
And that's a one-time deal.
That's a one-time deal. Yeah, you're not going to get that every single month or anything like that. But if you lost your job and you don't have an income, you can apply for unemployment, and they've extended it for 4 years. Now, most people aren't going to be unemployed for 4 years. They're going to get their jobs back.
We hope to God.
We
right?
hope, right? Yeah, no. I mean, we have to be optimistic. But they did extend it out for 4 years, because if for some reason you lost a job, is some specialty, and then that business goes away and it goes out of business forever, then it's like, well, shoot, now I got to either relearn something or figure something else, because a lot of restaurants are going to close. And you can always get another restaurant job, but you don't know if more.
A lot of things are going to close that are not going to reopen.
That's
too.
right. That's right. That's exactly right. So that's
not
why
just restaurants.
That's what exactly, and that's just one example. But that's the reason why they wanted to have more years added on to the unemployment. Now, I think the biggest win in this whole thing was that they really did. Majority of it is about helping people first. And there's some oversight on, which I like the best, is there's some oversight on the bailouts for these companies. I do believe we have to bail some of these companies out. It's not their fault that this happened, and I get that we need airlines. We need to have, there's certain things that we use on a daily basis in mass amounts. But there has to be oversight. We can't just let these people go and buy back all their stocks, and you can't do that, man, because that's not putting people first. So there's some underlying things in there, but I'm optimistic. But of course, anytime you rely on the government, they always let you down. Mm-hmm. Always let you down. So I think you guys you hit the nail on the head. You got to find motivation.
So just like anything else, it's fucking mindset, man. To me, everything comes down to mindset. But like I said, you have to have accomplishments throughout your day to feel good about yourself. I think that's why stay-at-home parents, they have to use the accomplishment of raising their children. You see so many marriages fail because the stay-at-home mom didn't feel like she didn't have any self-worth because she wasn't contributing because, the guy maybe didn't make it seem like what she was doing with the kids was enough, which is total bullshit because that's one of the hardest jobs that you can have. But everybody has to feel like they're accomplishing something. So what I would say to people, and this is a tough time, but what I would say to people that are that have lost their jobs or are going to lose their jobs, even if you are able to apply for unemployment and get your whole check, do something that you would like to do that's not easy to do, something that's challenging for you that you like to do that you can accomplish. Like, maybe you like to draw. Start drawing, start painting, try to sell your fucking artwork. There's a million things you can do now on the internet, and the internet's still up, and every single fucking person's using the internet more now than they ever have. There's a million things you can do on the internet to not only make money, start businesses. I'm just thinking like there's people I know that picked up a hobby of using fucking pallets to make art. Do that shit, sell that shit. You have to do something. You cannot just be worthless and feel like you don't have a place. Like, you have to contribute to your life and society still, even though you're quarantined at home.
Yeah. And I don't want to make this podcast too long because we've said some powerful stuff, and I really want to let it resonate instead of watering it down. But the last thing I just thought of when you were saying that was, yes, 100% find a hobby. But even if you're in a shitty position yourself, especially if you're not in a shitty situation, help someone else, because
Absolutely.
You never know what that in turn is going to do. A, for them, and B, whether you believe in karma or not, you help someone else out. Typically, the universe is going to repay you in some way. So instead of having that scarcity, hoard all the toilet paper, hoard all the Lysol mentality, help someone else out. Even if you have $1 to your name, give 10 cents to someone who needs it worse than you, and crazy shit happens.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. Fear breeds fear. But not only does fear breed fear, love breeds love. So if you spread happiness and love throughout your daily actions and your life, people feel that shit and they reciprocate it. Not only do I believe that what you put out comes back to you, so if you're spreading love, you're going to receive love, but I also believe that if you're spreading love to people, they're going to spread that love as well. And that's in dark times like it is right now, like we have going on right now. That's what this world needs. People need to not be in a fear-based mindset of, watching the death toll rise on the internet 24/7. Oh my God, it's up to here. I'm sorry, like it's happening. There's nothing you can do about it. Figure out what you can control, what you can't, and focus on the positive.
Amen, guys. Seriously, It's I thought Alan was great. He was a great guest. He said some really great things, but I'm a little bit more optimistic. I really am.
Absolutely.
I have to be. Truthfully,
I have to be for me, man.
I love I love what I do. I like the people I work with. I love the people I work with. To be honest, because most of the people I work with are passionate. They're passionate about what they do, and even when we don't get along, we still show passion within that, and that to me shows it means something to you. And I think I don't think there's anything more American than that, when the work that you do, you take pride in. And I think we're going to be fine. There's going to be political upheavals. There's going to be things are going to disappoint you and all this. But when it comes down to it, it's that American flag. It's a symbol, but we make it that way. We make it what it is. We make it mean something. It's more than just.
We all may be wearing body condoms in a couple months from now, but we'll be fine. I'm a strong believer in that.
Yeah, so I got to keep it optimistic. But yeah, no, I think it was a great podcast. I think you guys, said some really poignant, good, important things that people need to hear.
Absolutely. I say just one last thing is stay honest. Live a good life. Just because you who knows where the fuck this is going to go. But just because there is an opportunity to do something that's against your moral compass doesn't mean that you should. And just because you could get away with it because things have changed in our society doesn't mean that you should. Stay honest, spread love, give love, be the best person that you can be. Use this fucking time to focus on yourself and your higher power, whoever that may be, to find your higher power, find yourself, and be the best person that you can, not for anybody else, but for yourself. You know, life is what you make it 100%. So I think with that, yeah. So guys, if you like this podcast, if you found anything entertaining, anything helpful, useful, we do this stuff for free. All that we ask is a like, a share, 5-star review. We really appreciate it. We are on all of the platforms.
We're on guys. We're on Facebook and YouTube. Definitely check us out on YouTube. Subscribe, like, and follow us for all updates. Make sure you get to Spotify, SoundCloud, and iTunes for audio only. We are looking to get into Google Play as well. Haven't got there yet, but eventually. And potentially Plex. Plex is another platform you'll be able to get our audio only. But for now, it's those three. Other than that,
and we have a Facebook page, Dads Who Lift Podcast, and an IG, Dads Who Lift Podcast Official, I believe.
And join our damn group, Dads Who Lift.
If you're a Dads Who Lift, we have a Dads Who Lift group, 25,000 guys that are motivated, like-minded guys, all dads that basically try to stay fit, and it's a great group for support. So
And Wife Wednesdays.
And Wife Wednesdays, yeah, that's always a plus. So, all right, guys, take it easy. Listen, there's no way to be the best version of yourself if you're not raising the bar.
Raising the bar isn't just about doing the things you're supposed to be doing. It's about doing those things that no one expects you to do and doing them perfectly.
Thanks for listening, guys. If you love this podcast and you are a dad who lifts, check out our Facebook group, Dads Who Lifts, and join. You can also catch this podcast on SoundCloud, YouTube, www.dadswholifapparel.com. We also have a Dads Who Lift Apparel Facebook page.